I don't think anyone's fully ready for this, but let's try it.
Something in the distance when you open your eyes. If you make it, you can taste it, but you really gotta try. You can go there, you can come here, whatever you like. Go wherever you like. I've seen that look there, it's sitting in your eye. You're chasing those days where I can maybe come back. I could go there, I could be.
I'm Phil Spina. I play bass in Texas King.
My name is Melvin, and I play drums in Texas King.
My name is Jordan McDonald, and I am a musician by trade. Play in a band called Texas King. A band I started at the young age of 17, 16, 17.
Are you getting it? Or are you not getting it? Are you getting it? Or are you not getting it? Sorry, I didn't listen when you were speaking.
I'd say that, like, professionally, like in terms of the trajectory of the band over those last 2 years, definitely in that 2 years we did a lot of growing up, I think, within the band. So much happened in that period that it doesn't feel, it feels like a lifetime ago, to be honest.
You know what? It's funny that you say that because I was just thinking about that today, like on my drive in. That's like that time of putting out Capsize, going on tour, doing the Whatever You Break tour, going into the summer doing festivals, and then going on the Big Wreck tour, coming home for like just before Christmas doing the holiday show, and then into the studio and doing like a full-length record. Was probably what it would have been like to be a band in the 90s.
Oh man, I would describe it as a whirlwind, if I had to use one word. Lots happened in a short amount of time. But at the culmination of a lot of things that were already happening for a long time, you know, snowball effect had been going on for years with me. As that snowball grows and grows and grows, so does the feeling kind of like, oh man, something bad might happen. So this record, I think, is a lot of like prophecy in that sense. Like, I could tell that shit was going bad. And so that's in and throughout the whole record. You can hear that.
I'm not trying to tell you, 'cause I think you should.
Well, Jordan obviously he's the creative spark of the band. Obviously he's the sole lyricist, so you know, anyone who's seen us live knows that he's a great frontman and is full of energy and knows how to command an audience.
It's just a fun dynamic because he starts bouncing around and he's smiling and he comes back to the kids, then you're headbanging and smiling, and next thing you know, your neck's sore and you're like walking around like this for the rest of the week.
It's 100 degrees.
Melvin Murray, friendship personified.
I mean, Melvin definitely is key to the chemistry of the band. He adds a lightness.
I mean, Melvin is a human metronome. He's one of the best drummers I know, and he truly puts a crazy amount of effort and time into his craft, more than you guys could imagine. So you cannot replace a Melvin Murray.
Phil starts bouncing around too, and you know, you just feed off each other, and he's a great bass player.
You look over on stage and you see that Phil's still going 110% hard, and it's like, well, I need to up it here and keep up and keep it rocking. That's him on stage. Off stage, he's a stability source. I've always been able to tell him, I messed up on this is going on, help me, Phil. He's been a true friend. I'm happy to be a little bit less of a pain in the ass for Phil now, and that's all I can hope for going forward, to be less and less and less of a pain in Phil's ass.
We've been a band, like I've been with these guys for 8 years, and I think honestly, it's just brotherhood at this point. Like that's family. So you can't really say one thing of what's special. I think it's just that it's everybody together, just doing it, and we've been doing it this long that it means a lot to us. So that's it.
I don't have one favorite song, but there's a couple. Like, I really like On Your Street, kind of because of that, like, just the inside message for me, you know? Like, I wrote On Your Street when I was right in the fire, like, right in the worst part of it for me. And it's like a thing I can go back to. I can listen to that song and be like, wow, that was a desperate time. And I like it for that reason. I love the anthemic chorus and the way we have the harmonies, and the process of recording it in studio was so fun. Got to play some piano on that song. I'm proud of it.
Too soon? Okay, sorry. What did I... Again.
This feeling of like, I don't know what it is, but something's pushing this along, and like we're getting what we set out to get done, even though we're starting late, and like stuff like that. So it seemed to me this whole time like the record had to be made, if you know what I mean. And so like that was kind of a moment in itself for me, just this like propelling feeling.
Right when you try, you get diving in too deep, and everybody else can see. You look inside and you find it.
Having Josh in the mix has been great because he's brought another set of just like really good creative ideas to the group.
Great question. Thank you for making mention of Josh. Couldn't have made this record without him. We got a little bit of coloration and sparkle and glitter and love and lusciousness coming from Josh Try a lot of the times. We're blessed to have his musicianship.
Well, he's a stellar guitar player, so he really adds a lot.
When we went in to record Ultraviolet, we had just got off the road from a 6-week tour. So, and Josh had been our touring live lead guitar player for that whole run. On every song, Josh has guitar parts in. Some parts were a team effort, and everyone collaborated on ideas for melodies and stuff. And some parts were ideas that Josh just had for the song that just like blew our minds and was exactly what needed to be played when it needed to be played.
Same thing as I was saying with the other guys. You know, he's been there for 2 years now too. He's like part of the family as well too. It's just like, it's hard to say one thing. It's just like, you know what it's like when somebody's been there for so long. It's just like, yeah, you're like, I don't know, you're the person.
I always say this, when we are out there playing and we get an opportunity to say, hey, we want to put our best foot forward, who should we get to play guitar with us? It's a unanimous decision in the band, me, Melvin, and Phil. We say, well, let's see if Josh is available. He's the first guy we call to, and we always hope that he's available. Music has been an outlet. It's been a place where I can be brutally honest. It's been a place where I can hide. I've used it as a crutch. I've used it to feel better about myself, and it's made me feel worse about myself at times. But whenever I come back to it, I think that if I was physically ill, music could heal me.
Straight away, obviously, okay, the drums are really cool, so let's leave that. I like the parts that we kind of came up with. It was different than what we usually kind of have, that sort of sound. And this time, we got to bring a little Afro-Cuban influence into it. But honestly, like, besides all that, I just love that chorus. I think it's a really good, one of Jordan's best choruses that he's ever written. Just that chorus means a lot to me. So, I think he did a bang-up job on that. And Ian Thornley, yeah, that was insane. I never thought that we would ever do that.
A ton of bands that would love or would die to have him come play on the record. I think that's why we never asked him. It just seemed like a ridiculous ask on our part.
We were grilling up some steaks and chilling, but I was like, would you want to like come and lay some stuff down? And so he said, yeah, I'll come in and do some ding dongs and do some.
Because I remember hearing Come Again on the radio when I was a kid, and I was like, whoa, hearing that opening riff. Da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da. I was like, oh, jeez. In fact, I've actually punked that drum fill. And I put it in Ultraviolet for the second chorus. But just having Ian in the studio was like, I don't know, it probably would have been watching like Beethoven work. And same with him, like he did the solo on Straight Away. And again, that's just a memorable solo that you can sing along to.
But I don't really want to come in and just do a shredding solo on anything. Famous last words, because we had him in there and he was already set up and he was being so proficient and quick that it was kind of a waste and kind of stupid if we didn't say like, oh, you want to try this one, you want to try this one. And he had the time and he was a good sport. And like the thing about Ian too is everything he plays is gold. So like we had to then go back and be like, oh, well this was sick, but oh, this was sick too. And like.
And so Ian came by for an afternoon. And super lucky and fortunate, obviously, to have a friend like that and like one of the all-time greatest guitar players as far as I'm concerned.
One of my favorite things we got was the solo on Straight Away, and it's so musical and so intense. Like the bending, I don't even know how it works finger-wise, but that's why I just strum the big old dumb chords and sing.
The highlight of recording I think that honestly it was the whole experience because I don't think I've ever really done a studio process like that. So just the fact that we were in Toronto for 2 weeks, living in a hotel, and we would spend 12 hours at the studio, do your work, then you go home, back to the hotel. That was the experience I've always like really wanted. So just being in Toronto for 2 weeks and working on a record was awesome. And in Noble with Brian, like it was just a lot of fun.
I needed somewhere to go, I needed something to be. I was losing my breath, I could no longer breathe.
I was a fan of the band even before I met them and worked with them. You know, I had seen them play and was always into them, and there's a few things that definitely come to mind. First and foremost, I'd say Jordan's lyrics. I've always said he has an amazing ability to create a scene in my brain when I read his lyrics. Phil is a beast of a bass player. He's not afraid to come up with some really nice signature bass lines, some of which end up being like the main melody in the chorus. And I think that's amazing, and he always executes it to perfection. And Melvin's energy as a drummer is unreal. And when it all comes together, it culminates in a Texas King song.
Another day, another chance to run away. Can you feel another glass? It's all okay with someone else. When you see the way you are, I'm not taking it any longer. I just wish that you were stronger. Take me home.
They listen to what I say, I listen to what they say. It's a true collaboration, which doesn't always happen, sadly from a music producer standpoint. But with this band, it really is like, I feel like the time that we work together, I'm a part of the band. They're incredibly hardworking guys. They really, the whole time we've been in the studio, Melvin's been taking merch orders and packaging them up and shipping them off, and Jordan's always hard at work at lyrics, and Phil's like running the business and playing bass, and they all, I think it's a true band.
we had the chance to revisit an old song. So the last song on the record, Feel It Coming, the original idea, like the demo, the first demo of that song is actually quite old. Obviously, Colin was in the band at that time, and so he played guitar on the original demo.
Colin Gray is just sick to have him back in the picture. I love Colin. I was sad when he left, and so it was great to kind of bring him back because Feel It Coming was a song that we wrote together years ago.
And I can't take the credit for this one because it was actually Melvin or Phil, both, probably Melvin and Phil, that were both like, we got to the solo section of Feel It Coming and it was like, damn it, like.
It's one of those things where like when you hear that part in the demo, it was hard to think of something else now going in that space, in that hole, in that track.
So we all decided we'd give him a call. We were in Toronto, we called him, we were like, yo, can you come down in 2 days? And record, he came down, it was great. It was like old times, we chilled, we partied, he stayed at the hotel with us, I'm pretty sure, like, it was a good time.
And for that to live on and have Colin be the one to play it on the record, I think was just like a really cool full circle moment. Damn. I don't know. It's weird. I think it's felt like a journey, you know? And a ton has changed in the band, you know, for the better on a personal level. And I'm really proud of everybody involved in the record.
The last line that Jordan says kind of sums up the whole record to me is, I can see in Ultraviolet. To me, that's more of somebody who has woken up to a life that needed change. Playing in a band, it's just another form of communication without using words. You know, you could play a riff and I could know maybe what Jordan was feeling.
I think there's something beautiful about, like, you hear it in the voice, you hear it in the performance, you hear it in, like, I mean, definitely in the raw audio of the camera clips of you in there for this documentary we've been filming, you could hear it. But like, it was a tough time for me personally. You know, it's a heartfelt record. I mean every line, I mean every lyric. I'm trying to be honest here. And that's gotta count for something. And a message I want to give to people when they listen to this record is that we're on a slope and we're going downhill on a sled and it's getting faster and faster and faster, and that feeling I was talking about earlier is coming up inside of you. You feel like something bad's gonna happen at the bottom of the hill. The message I want to deliver with this record is that you don't have to stay on the sled. You can bail. You can roll off and you might get some bumps and bruises and you might get really fucked up. That's the truth. You might be really hurt. But it's gonna be better than what happens if you wait till the end and you hit that wall or you go off that cliff or whatever it is. And I just want that to be the message. You can hop off. Just because you've been going down, just because you've been on this path, doesn't mean you can't get off. And don't take that with a grain of salt.
I don't know what I was thinking, but it's all